Dear brothers and sisters in Christ, the topic that I have chosen for today is destiny is not created by the shoes we wear, but by the steps we take. Destiny is not created by the shoes we wear, but by the steps we take. This statement made me ponder. I understand that our destiny is not determined by what we wear, but by the decisions we take. When we look at the biblical perspective, our steps, our decisions decide our destiny. Where are our steps or decisions leading us? What are the repercussions or consequences of our actions or the steps that we take? Let us look at some people in the Bible who made bad decisions that led to unforeseen consequences. The first one we can think of is Eve. Let us read Genesis 3rd chapter 6th verse. Genesis 3rd chapter 6th verse. When the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was a delight to the eyes, and that the tree was desirable to make one wise, she took from its fruit and ate. And she gave also to her husband with her, and he ate. When we look at these verses, we find three things here. Good for food, delight to the eyes, and desirable to make one wise. There is no doubt that God created our first parents, Adam and Eve, with vast amount of knowledge and intelligence. God also gave them the desire to acquire more knowledge, but He had stipulated some norms. But Eve succumbed to the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life, which were not of the Father, but of the world. So, one wrong step by Eve and Adam led to the fall of entire mankind. The next person I would like to discuss is Lot. Let us turn to Genesis 13th chapter, verses 10 and 11. Genesis 13th chapter, verses 10 and 11. Lot lifted up his eyes and saw all the valley of the Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere. This was before the Lord had destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt as you go to Zoar, so Lot chose for himself all the valley of the Jordan, and Lot journeyed eastward. Thus they separated from each other. The Garden of Eden was watered by the 4 neighboring streams. Egypt was watered by the annual overflowing of river Nile. Similarly, the plains of Jordan and all the land all the way to Zoar were well watered and fertilized by the overflowing of river Jordan. When Abraham proposed to part ways, Lot immediately made a choice. He forgot that all the substance that he acquired that was increased was because of his staying with Abraham. with a selfish motive, he chose the best part of the country. He chose, according to his understanding, the most convenient place for his flocks and herds, and where he was most likely to increase his substance. If you read verse 12 of the same chapter, Abraham lived in the land of Canaan, while Lot lived among the cities of the plain and pitched his tents near Sodom. Brothers and sisters, I would like to highlight the words near Sodom. Lot's family moved near to Sodom, but the next thing we find is that Lot's family is in Sodom and Gomorrah. We find that in Genesis 14th chapter 12th verse. Initially, they were not in Sodom and Gomorrah, they were near Sodom and Gomorrah. But the next thing we read in the next chapter is they are in Sodom and Gomorrah. So, we may think that we are not near something dangerous, not near temptation, but the vortex of temptation will draw us towards impending doom without our knowledge. That's what happened to Lot's family. So Lot's selfishness in going away from Abraham led him to Sodom and Gomorrah and the eventual disintegration of his family. The next person I would like to think of is Abraham's wife Sarai. Let us turn to Genesis 16th chapter verses 1 to 3. Genesis 16th chapter verses 1 to 3. Now Sarai, Abraham's wife, had borne him no children, and she had an Egyptian maid whose name was Hagar. So Sarai said to Abraham, Now behold, the Lord has prevented me from bearing children. Please go in to my maid. Perhaps I will obtain children through her. And Abraham listened to the voice of Sarai. After Abraham had lived 10 years in the land of Canaan, Abraham's wife Sarai took Hagar the Egyptian, her maid, and gave her to her husband Abraham as his wife. God specifically promised Abraham and Sarai that a son will be born to them both through Abraham's loins. But Sarai was impatient. Probably she very foolishly thought of helping God in fulfilling God's promise. And when Sarai proposed, Abraham did not refuse Sarai's idea. Both committed a blunder. Both took the wrong step. By giving Hagar to Abraham as his wife, Sarai took an irreversible step. The whole course of world history changed due to this step taken by Sarai and Abraham. So, dear brothers and sisters, whether it's Adam and Eve, Lot and his family, Abraham and Sarah, the prodigal son, or you and I, destiny is not created by the shoes we wear, but by the steps we take. We have to be very careful in choosing our path or steps. We may have accepted the Lord and we may be leading a very close life with God. But as mentioned in Jeremiah 42:3, pray that the Lord your God will tell us where we should go and what we should do. As mentioned in Proverbs 3:6, we have to acknowledge God in all our ways so that He shall direct our paths. May God bless these words and may God guide us in taking the right decisions and taking the right steps that would lead us to Him.